This is the Bold and Inspired Leaders Podcast. I'm Kristen.
And I'm Amber. We're having conversations with people who make bold moves and lead inspired lives. Our hope is that these conversations spark something in us and in you.
Let's get started.
We recently went to Money2020 and had the pleasure of seeing so many exciting breakthroughs and hearing the stories of truly innovative companies shaping the future of Fintech. From AI-powered solutions to next-gen payment platforms, the conversations were inspiring. We even got to sit down and record mini podcast episodes with some of the brilliant minds behind the ideas. In this episode, we're bringing you a compilation of those conversations, real, unfiltered insights from founders, innovators, and sales leaders who are using technology not just to sell faster, but to sell smarter. Together, we'll explore how tech is reshaping the sales cycle, helping teams build trust, shorten timelines, and deliver value at every step.
I think there's so much opportunity right now, but there's also the uncertainty element of it. So we walk in, we hear everything about stablecoin, payment stablecoin, crypto, tokenized deposits, AI. It's new, it's exciting, but at the same time, like when people try to envision what it looks like in the financial landscape, we don't really know yet.
Yeah, it's so true.
And every other person at the conference is either stablecoin or wallet, crypto, AI. Like, how can all of this exist at once? So it's still new, and it's a little daunting, though. I would just say that we have to try and introduce it. And I'm more on the product side, and my guidance there would be we have to introduce AI into whatever we're doing, whether it's something internal, helping our operations group, partnering externally to get more visibility into what our product is. You look at cloud or ChatGPT. It's changing the way search engine optimization is going on right now, right?
Sure does.
If you want your brand to be on ChatGPT, because Googling something might not be around for much longer.
Totally.
You need to learn how to incorporate that into a different search engine, which is your models, your ChatGPT.
So true.
So I think that's where I would point them in that direction.
We're a first-party and third-party accounts receivable management firm.
Okay.
So that's really fancy language for we help our clients either on the billing and invoicing side, or we're a licensed third-party debt recovery firm as well. So once you kind of get into the weeds with non-payment, you can assign accounts to us or portfolios, and we help you recover those funds.
How has AI changed the way maybe you guys do things?
Yeah, tremendously. So we were initially utilizing some of this new technology in AI just for internal optimization, like the ability to assess and audit millions of data points at once to be able to give you a concise result configuration.
Yeah.
Tremendous. Like in our world, we utilize a model called propensity to pay, right? Which again, really fancy word for what is the probability that this individual is going to pay on their account.
Yes.
And we're using data points like what is their age? What is their location? Do they have any assets? What's their job? And so by analyzing all these data points, it can give me like a risk probability score. And that's how we prioritize. So that was the early adoption of how we're using AI. But to be fair, in the next 5 years, AI and even how we're referring to it today is going to go through the roof, I promise you.
So YRefi is a private student loan refinance company.
Yes.
We specialize in helping people, particularly people who've struggled with the burden of private student loan debt.
Yes.
And have fallen behind or kind of been trapped with no way out. And we specialize in helping those people get a fresh start.
Is there any big shifts you see happening in that specific industry?
The reestablishment and collections on the federal student loans is going to have an impact for a lot of the country. We're talking 20% of the U.S. has a student loan. Average payment on student loans just under $400 a month. So let's think about 20% of the people having a $400 bill added to their budget that they haven't had in 5 years. So it's going to be real interesting to see how the return to payment kind of world impacts beyond student loans and really across the all verticals of payment.
What are your thoughts on AI?
So Y-Refi is kind of a unique product. We've always prided ourselves on being customer first.
Yes.
So there's no autonomous way to get a loan for a refinance on our product.
Yeah.
And that's by design, right? We want to seek to understand, right? So when a customer calls in, we try to understand really what the point is or what that customer needs. And that's not something that we think AI can do. And maybe it can, but we're still committed to being a real person solving real life problems, right?
Yes.
We help people. This is likely for most people their first or second biggest financial decision they'll ever deal with in their whole life.
Definitely.
And I don't know, I'm not old, but I still couldn't trust a computer to guide me through such an important decision.
That is true. That is true. It is coming, and a lot of people do say the same thing. They're like, no. Do you see it becoming a huge core part of this industry?
You know, I think it can definitely help augment some like laborious things, but when it
Yes.
comes to actual customer interaction,
AI can't replicate that.
no, can't have this conversation we're having today.
Okay, tell me, why is cash flow underwriting important for small businesses?
So I think, cash flow underwriting is basically taking bank data and underwriting based off of that rather than like, let's say, financial statements. And I think what's interesting is that it's becoming very widely adopted in the consumer side, but not so much on the business side, which is interesting to me because on the consumer side, I think you and I can get, a Chase Reserve card for like $30K very, very easily, right? And it's instantaneous. For businesses, a business loan is a very lengthy process that requires, days or even weeks of back and forth. And for a small business, it takes you a lot of time to prepare financials to share for underwriting.
Yes.
And so the benefit of cash flow underwriting is that with Plaid or any other open banking provider, you can instantly share your entire business banking history in a few seconds rather than weeks. And with the
That's
right
huge.
tools, if you can understand that bank data and create financial statements out of it automatically, then that leads to you could say like a 10x or 100x improvement in like the onboarding experience for small businesses.
Amazing. Why do you think this doesn't exist really right now?
Yeah, so I think if you're in this space, you've seen like Plaid, Nova Credit, Prism, a lot of innovation on the consumer cash flow underwriting side. I think the reason it doesn't exist on the business side, and we've tried a lot of these providers too for business underwriting, and we just don't find that work very well. I think it just boils down to the fact that business cash flows are just a lot harder to understand.
No
If you think
kidding.
about your own cash flows, let's take income, right? Like majority of people, their income can be identified with a direct deposit that happens every 2 weeks. Businesses, you can imagine, they're way more chaotic than that. You could have multiple income streams.
Can't imagine.
right?
Yeah.
You could be paid daily. You could be paid many times a day. You could be paid like once a week. And they can look completely different, right? So if you're, let's say, a services business, your your revenues are gonna look like, wires or transfers or invoice payments, right? And those aren't obviously identifiable by just a simple like rules engine. And so I think that's the simple reason is it's just a lot harder of a problem to solve, and I think
Yeah.
that's why not anyone has really come out with a solution so far.
Sounds like it. Talk to me more about some pain points that Slope solves.
So I think if you kind of look at like lending products available for small business today, you have kind of like consumer products, which are like very fast to get, but they cap out at like 50K. Right. And then your next best option is to go to the business loan side. But those are like that, long, like I said, like multi-week processes to prepare financials, documents that you might not have. And so I think there's a big gap in the middle where like small businesses are just like consumers in that they want something fast, but they need bigger size. And so what Slope helps solves is we give kind of a fast, we we give a fast product that you can get in, just a couple seconds.
Yes.
And we can then underwrite you for up to 250, 500K
Wow.
instantly with just bank data. So not a single financial prepared. So that's kind of the gap that we see.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Cool. What is the biggest trend you're tracking right now in the fintech media industry?
Fear. Really, I think that's what's driving almost everybody at the conference.
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing I try to figure out is what's rational and what's fear-based.
Okay.
So the rational problems are not too hard to address, but the fear is impossible.
A little bit more difficult,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
How do you separate genuine innovation from hype in the media?
I would say uptake and usage. What are people really using?
Okay.
What kinds of problems are they really having?
Got it.
I mean, if you sit down and consume any news source for 30 minutes, if you were in a state of bliss when you started, you'll be in a state of panic when you finish. So,
Absolutely. I love that.
so I think keep it real. Keep AI in the service of you as an individual and you as a company, and have it help you with the actual current problems.
We have a very expansive platform that enables you to build intelligent apps and agentic systems at a very high rate of speed. We're focused on financial services. We primarily operate in a regulated, high compliance world. The biggest thing for us is our focus on what we call the semantic layer.
Okay.
So the semantic layer in the world, obviously we focus very much on AI.
Yes.
And as it turns out, AI requires context. The biggest thing for AI applications to work is contextual information. And that context in our world is called a semantic layer, which basically says, what am I doing? Who am I doing it with? What systems, what data elements, what are the policies, what the business rules are? And that complex web becomes a semantic layer. Without that, AI systems at scale are not going to be able to operate.
Yes.
And that's really kind of the crux of our value proposition is basically that, which is that semantic layer that powers the systems. If we look at AI, obviously it's a great buzzword, everybody's towards it, but it's absolutely real. We see a tremendous level of interest and adoption for it. But if you talk to the big enterprises, and especially the ones that have under government control, they have compliance requirements, regulatory compliance like a bank or healthcare, it's really scary. How do you do it in financial services without breaking, anti-money laundering or know your customer? All of those things have to come into play. And that really compounds AI. It's way beyond kind of a ChatGPT world. Everybody's used to that. And that's awesome. The world changer. But when you talk about an enterprise and running a business, it becomes a very different value proposition. And, you have to have capabilities and technology that addresses it. And that's kind of what we're trying to provide. But it's a long, it's a hard slug, but people are really beginning to understand what is required here.
What we heard at Money2020 was clear. Technology isn't replacing the human side of sales. It's empowering it. The best salespeople still lead with connection, empathy, and curiosity. But when those human strengths are supported by the right tech stack, CRM automation, AI analytics, or digital tools that streamline communication, the results multiply. At Inspired Vibe, that's exactly how we view technology. As an accelerator for human potential, we help businesses integrate tech that supports their strategy, enhances their sales systems, and drives measurable growth. From prototypes and automated tools to full-scale digital platforms, we build solutions that let teams focus on what really matters: relationship building, creativity, and momentum. The future of sales isn't just digital, it's developmental. It's about aligning your brand, sales, and technology into one powerful growth engine. If you're ready to see how the right tech can apply your strategy, scale your systems, and boost your bottom line, stay tuned and follow Inspired Vibe for more insights from the Money2020 floor and beyond.
Thanks for joining us on another episode of the Bold and Inspired Leaders Podcast.
Keep making bold moves and leading inspired lives. See you next time.